Hello, people. It is one and only Lady Jackson once again on your screens. Of course, obviously, my face ain't showing, but of course, it is what it is. It is a day 2 of the Big Brother Naija Level of Season 7 reunion. And of course, the day started with the housemates, ex-housemates, the stars, saying a farewell thank you to Pepsi and that they had a fun, amazing time during the trip to Cape Town and, paragliding, cable riding, wine tasting on all the 9 yards. And then boom, it was time to get the drama on. And I love the fact that drama is starting on the day too. Who don't like drama? No supposed come for this space, so anyways, so AMAKA started by asking Daniela, how was the trip to Cape Town? And girl was like, it was fun. She had a lot of fun with every other person and stuff. And he was like specific. AMAKA was specific. How was it with Khalid? And girl was like, oh, it was cool meeting Khalid. After all, AMAKA chipped in to ask, like, had you seen Khalid even before the trip to? And she was like, yes, even after they were evicted, they met, it was okay, they spoke, and it was all good. Now, AMAKA was referring to the facts that, her and Khalid, the continuous nakademos that they were doing in the house, they were nakabude. And then it felt like she disrespected herself in the show. And she was like, it was good. Khalid also confirmed that it was cool meeting her. They had conversations and stuff. And then AMAKA went on to Dotun, if I'm not mistaken, asking him how was it with Khalid. And he said, well, they didn't have any beef. They settled, spoke like guys, like matured men, and all the 9 yards. I'm like, yes, daddy. And then AMAKA went on to Chichi and, indicated that, she allegedly had issues with a lot of people at the Cape Town hangout and trip and everything, especially Deji. Now, Chichi said she didn't really have issues with a lot of people. It was just around like Deji and they settled and stuff. Although AMAKA asked Chumsy, was that true? Chumsy started laughing. I was like, dodging to say anything. I was just playing on the surface, trying to be safe. She was not here for the crazy drama. At least let it not be her that started the drama. I'm like, girl, you want a trend? You should start the drama. Of course, AMAKA moved on to GROOVY. And it was time to tamper on the first ship, the major ship of the Big Brother past, everything. Now, AMAKA was like, asking GROOVY how was the trip. Hope you had fun and a great time with the housemates, especially PHYNA. And then GROOVY was like, yes, he had a good time. It was something memorable. He had never had something like that. And although AMAKA was very specific about, PHYNA, GROOVY was dodging and saying, yes, he had fun with everybody. And since he said everybody, that includes PHYNA, she was also there. They had a conversation and it was fun. Around all this time, PHYNA's face was down and pissed. She was not smiling. She was not giving even a straight face. She was literally outrightly very pissed. AMAKA turned to her and asked her, like, how was the trip? And she said it was fine. It was not cold. She didn't enjoy herself because the weather was very cold and she's not used to cold. She was trying to adapt and she couldn't, but generally she had fun. She had a good time. AMAKA was now specific about GROOVY and she said, well, they had fun and that's it. AMAKA kept asking her question and she was dodging. I was like, AMAKA, that's all, that is it. I'm like, auntie, hold up, I did not see you coming for AMAKA to want to slap him. Excuse you. Anyways, AMAKA moved on to Christy O, who they spoke about ELOSWAGs, and it was that ELOSWAGs indicated ELOSWAGs gave an indirect jab at Adekunle, who shared a tweet whilst they were in Cape Town. He shared a newsletter which was pointing about saying that all the other housemates were going live too much and it's childish. It doesn't necessarily indicate their real life and everything. I'm like, oh my God, is that how he meant it? But then now all this went down to talks about an Azul issue situation during the party. And Adekunle kept, putting on the fact that, he really was not meaning to jab at anybody. Since 3 people actually got jabbed, that was not his aim. He said he was not trying to throw shade, that he was just not talking to anybody specifically. That newsletter was for his fans, and he expected that people were going to read it and not come and create and pick narratives specific to them from it all. And then he went on to say that he's really not afraid of anybody here. Nobody will beat him, but he felt hurt by the fact that none of them really read the newsletter, down to the point where at the end he said he loved his level housemates and the other level. He cannot wait to meet with them, get to bond and everything. That people just took it a different way, and that I think he indirectly kind of apologized, but it is what it is. And then AMAKA moved to PHARMSAVY, who indicated that he felt really betrayed by ELOSWAGs and everything, that he had stayed with him for at least a week. They had bonded, spoken about their private life. This was one guy, the guy that he really bonded with and opened up to. And then the fact that in just him winning the head of house, he would nominate his guy up for eviction, when he had seen that even after he left the show, he saw that other guys were fighting for their guys, even when ELOSWAGs had the power to evict or put them up for eviction. ELOSWAG said, he just followed the thought that, PHARMSAVY was a strong contender and he wasn't going to be eliminated and all the 9 yards. ELOSWAG said he had apologized. He called PHARMSAVY. PHARMSAVY did not pick his calls. His mom called PHARMSAVY. PHARMSAVY picked, but still was very stubborn and adamant about his anger, that he even took an A-list Nigerian actress to try and settle it. PHARMSAVY just pointed out the fact that, he does not have an issue with ELOSWAGs. He's his guy, they can talk, they can gist, but he will not take him as a major friend. He will not take him as his friend because he feels that if ELOSWAGs had the opportunity, he can poison him, which was a strong statement, and it comes from a depth of pain and hurt, and I really understand that. And then, the conversation moved to Doyin, who had to apologize for something wrong that she did. Now, if I'm not mistaken, it was about Saif. Now, she had said that Saif was matured. He's like the kind of guy she would go for, but that she's really apologizing now publicly, that she had talked down on his looks to other guys, and it was something she wished she never did. She felt like, generally, she also didn't do anything wrong, but that people on her own level were not having the same mindset with her when it came to the competition, because AMAKA asked the question, like, she really didn't bond with people in her level, and what was the reason? Was it an issue with her or with the people? She said she just had a different mindset, and she just felt, did he really bond and understand each other when it came to that? And then AMAKA moved on to Bryan, who, pointed out the fact that, AMAKA pointed out the fact that Bryan was just liking to gun for Diana, that he didn't care about the age, but he cannot wait for the Saturday night party. He was going to get it down. He was going to go down with her as much as possible. And Bryan was laughing and saying, it was all crazy and stuff, but after all, Diana is beautiful and stuff. But I'm thinking it's just all about the age thing that they are playing at right now, because it just kept making me laugh. Like, he was not like he didn't even know that his guy Gidifire was liking on Diana. And then, of course, he had to move from there to Diana AMAKA issue, which was asking AMAKA, like, why was she going for Gidifire when her friend Diana was into him? And, AMAKA said, she really didn't think that her friend Diana was, into this guy. It was only people that were telling her. And she didn't take it serious because she had asked Diana, her friend, once, twice, more than 3 times. And Diana, even after the show, kept saying that she has nothing to do with Gidifire. She does not like him. She cannot roll with him in that level. And that, she didn't know that it would get to this, she only knew and felt that, okay, Diana really liked Gidifire because she saw how she was pissed at Rachel over, getting close with Gidifire, and that, that was it. But Diana really just felt like she was being attacked and made to look like the bad person or like a pretender. So she had to ask and question, AMAKA that, AMAKA, you told me your game plan. Like, these two said they cannot fight over a man. They're matured, and that, they had spoken and had AMAKA told Diana her game plan on, being a player and using guys to get her game up, but it's not something they should come and be bussing and fighting over. That was just it for them. And of course, according to her, let's not come and be sounding like we're exposing ourselves and all that, but it is it. Diana, just pointed out the fact that at the moment, she's saying it to everybody, eloswags is not her type. She cannot roll with him, mostly because of the age. And abruptly, the show ended for today. I'm like, I don't understand. What is that? Excuse me, big brother, what is happening? And that is all we're having. The little intro to drama for day 1, day 2. And I cannot wait for tomorrow because I don't like this kind of play.